Hi, I am your guide through these 32 lessons in the third grade technology curriculum from Structured Learning. Myself or one of the other curriculum specialists or master teachers will guide you through these lessons, and then we'll also be available during office hours on Sundays at 2 o'clock to take any questions you have. That's 2 Pacific time. So as you're working through this, feel like you always have someone there who can help you, who will be there to answer questions. There's a lot of material, and we don't want you to feel like you just can't do it all, because you absolutely can, as can the students. So you'll see that this black manual is the teacher manual. You might also have the red manual, which is the student workbook. This is a separate purchase, so you might only have the teacher manual, but whichever one you have is fine. We'll go through both so that you can address the one that you have and integrate them as needed. So your teacher manual here is third grade, and I'll quickly go through the introduction. Though hopefully you've watched the overview video that came right before this one. It's the first in the series. You find that series if you look at, well, let me go to third grade. And if you look at, here's the 6th edition. So here's your video stream. You get them all right here. If you click this down arrow, you'll get everyone in the stream. Right now there's only one, but by the time you see this, there'll be 2. By the end of the year, there'll be over 32. If you go down to the 5th edition, if that's the one you have, these are already available. They're all recorded. So you just go here and you go to the week you're working on, grab that lesson, and it'll guide you through exactly how to do that. If you have questions, this is where you go, to the discussion board here in the sidebar, and leave your question, topic, and then your question. And this is where I'll answer it. And it works well here because then everyone can benefit from it. So they'll read your question and go, yeah, I had that question too. And then everyone can read your question and the answer. So that's a really good way to do that. So have this always. Great place to watch things and keep tabs on things. So that introductory video does go through a lot of these things. And if it doesn't, feel free to ask me if there's something. I don't go into a lot of detail on this, but if you want to, I'm more than happy to. We can talk about all this stuff. Who needs this book? This is all the topics that are covered in each lesson. There are a lot of them, and I know it looks daunting, but by the time, if you've used this curriculum for a couple of years, it doesn't anymore. And by the time, if this is your first year using it, by the time you're 4 or 5 lessons into this, you'll be really happy to have so much available on half a page. The vocabulary is really good to have. Problem solving, so you know what to expect students to solve. Essential question, big idea, assessment strategies, really good for you. The standards that you're following, if you have to write a lesson plan up, these are going to be real important to you. Skills, this will have new skills and scaffolded skills. So you'll look and you'll go, okay, students already know these particular skills. I don't need to teach them. And you'll probably remember anyway, you taught them in 1st grade or 2nd grade, but they'll be listed there. If this is your first year and your student's first year, what's listed as scaffolded may not be true. So be aware of that. You might have to look at scaffolding and go, okay, they need these skills to do these lessons right. So I'll just take a break and teach it to them. Time required, class warm-ups. There often is a class warm-up. Sometimes there isn't. You can always add one if you want. Here's the curriculum map. This and this one are really good to put on the wall in your classroom. Anything that can show your administration and parents that you actually do something in class, you're accomplishing a lot. In technology time, if you have it as a breakout, this is technology, we go to the lab, we do technology, or it's just technology in your classroom. You want them to know that we actually do a whole lot in this class, just like history and math would. So these 2 show you. This lays it out for all 9 years by topic. So these are the major topics, and you can see in 3rd grade, these are the topics you cover, a lot of them, but they're based on scaffolding from these years. You can cover a lot in 3rd grade because you've covered a lot in prior years. So if this is your first year with the curriculum, don't be surprised if you don't get through all of this, because you don't have the foundation for it. Or maybe you do. Maybe you did in whatever you used before this. So I'll leave that up to you to decide. But just be aware that all of this relies on having this foundation. And the same, here we go. This one is each month broken out by topic. So you can see blogging starts in 3rd grade, and class management tools are discussed 3 times during the year. And coding is get once, and that's the hour of code, but you can blend it in at other times as activities. So but then you have keyboarding and problem solving, digital citizenship that are covered every single month because they're that important. So, okay, so let's see, and this, I'll kind of skim through this, but feel free. This is a really good tool to have. It's the vocabulary list. It's in our wiki. Let me go over here and see if I can find it right there. And it includes all of the words included in the lessons. There's probably some that were skipped because they were deemed covered in a different word. So if you come to a word you don't understand, feel free to say, what's with that wasn't covered? And we'll cover it, address it in the discussion board. There's also these 2 dictionaries that are really good for some tech terms. So right over here is vocabulary. Really, this alone is probably worth the price of the books. So there you have that, and let's see, habits of mind, yeah, depth of knowledge, those types of thinking, whatever you use that encourages thinking. It might be habits of mind, it might be the IB learner profile, depth of knowledge, whatever you have, really important. The symbols that are included in each lesson, if you see this one, it means there's a video. This one means students are going to work together on something. This tells you there's an article that will give you more depth on a topic in the lesson. These are posters for your classroom. And this tells you that in the student workbook, there's a opportunity for the students to add annotation of some sort, maybe fill out a rubric or an assessment sheet or something, then share it out with you. But this tells you, look in your student workbook, or if you don't have one, of course you don't. Typical lesson, suggested pieces to go with this. And then we have table of contents. All the lessons are listed here. And lots and lots of images. It says 139, but some of them have multiple parts. So there's really quite a few. A lot of assessments. So I know a lot of schools are looking for assessment. These will give you everything you need for assessment. Plus each lesson includes assessment. The scope and sequence you can see under 3rd grade. This is where students are probably, but if this is your first year to applying existing knowledge to generate new ideas, products, and processes with technology, you might not be under W, you might be I. You decide. This just gives you a rough idea. If you started in kindergarten, this is where you probably are. And it tells you all the topics organized by ISTE standard. And I'm going to zip through this, but if you have questions as you go through it, feel free to post it. Now here's our first lesson. So you can see all breakdown, new skills, digital student, mulligan, homework. Homework starts in 3rd grade. Evidence board, they didn't have that in the past. And then scaffolded, these you can expect students to know. You shouldn't have to teach digital citizenship from the beginning, deleting, saving, undoing, select do, or lab rules. Students should have those. Here's your assessment strategies, how you'll assess. The habits of mind and higher order thinking, and left the room as they found it. These you will find on every single lesson. Feel free to assess students based on the fact that they analyzed, they evaluated, they were problem solvers, and which means they fulfilled one of these 2. They left the room, they're stationed neat and orderly. Assess them based on those. They're very valid for assessment because they should do that in every class. And then these are usually more typical of what's in that lesson. Anecdotal observation means you walked around the room and you watched them and you drew some conclusion based on that. Many times the exit ticket or the warm-up will give you an assessment opportunity, which you may or may not use, your choice. Teacher prep is Test the equipment this first lesson, make sure it works for students, although in third grade, if it doesn't, let them solve it. If you find one that doesn't work because the headphones aren't plugged in, don't plug them in. Let the student who sits there go, my headphones don't work. Well, what'd you do in second grade when that happened? And just be aware. Make sure you have all the required links. They can be, if they have the student workbooks, they have them. Otherwise, put them on your, wherever you collect links, your student, the class internet start page. So here's third grade. And I tend to put them all over here in this box of links because they're really easy to find then. So I tell them, okay, the link you need is over here. And then over here, I put all the ones you get done early, go anywhere you want to under landforms. And I tend to have these that go along with some tech skill or a topic they're discussing in class, research, government. There we go. This is a class exit ticket. So Padlet and Lenoit are great for saying, okay, before you leave, class exit ticket, answer this question. I left this up from summer so you can see it. To-do list. And yeah, whatever works for you down here. I guess I have to replace that one. Okay. So, and let's see what else we have in here. So you're going to go over, this is a good one for them to talk about what makes a digital citizen. In this class, Introduction and Review, you want to introduce the idea of the digital student, digital citizen, 21st century tech-infused lesson plan. And you want the students to be aware of how much they really use technology. So you can put this up on the class screen and then have students help you fill it in. If they have student workbooks, they can write it right next to it and add their notes right here in the white space next to it. And as you add it up on the screen, then take that completed person, print it out, put it on your wall. This is our class digital student. This is what he looks like. He uses all these devices. Hopefully not too many social medias in third grade. Definitely tour the classroom because you want students to be comfortable where they are. Now by third grade, you might do it from their seats. You might do it walking around. You decide what works best. Definitely point out these posters. Sure, they should know all of these, but remind them, maybe by asking them, what are 2 ways to delete? What does landscape mean? What does portrait mean? Maybe ask them those, but that is to remind them they should know these, and that'll remind them, okay, I got to get back in the habit of save or save as. What's the difference between those? And then plus these, save early, save often. What's a mulligan? Remind them how they should be sitting, not by telling them, but by asking them. How should you sit at the computer? Maybe have them work in pairs to do all the proper things. Maybe put this up on the screen so that they can copy it, but you don't read it to them and you don't teach them this because they've already learned it. So they're going to transfer their knowledge from prior years and they're going to apply it to that first time they sit down at the computer. You're also going to take computer lab rules. And students, if they have student workbooks, they can write their suggestions right here in the sidebar, right over here and right over here. You can write them also. You can be up on your class screen or a big paper on the wall in the classroom and then write down what they say. Now, you know there's some you definitely want on that list. No food or drink in the classroom, respect the work of others. But start by letting the students suggest it. What has worked for you in prior years? So, and that's what you want to put on this list. So once it's done, you'll make it something fancy and put it on the wall in the classroom. These are agreed upon rules for working in this class. Okay. Homework, go over homework. It's in the back of the book. It's in the back of your book and their book. The first 3 months, it's all the rows on the keyboard, homework, pretty row, lower row. And then the rest of the months, it's practicing all those rows. Hands covered or not covered, depends. A lot of variety in third grade. We don't worry about touch typing in third grade at all. So that's why I say the hands covered is really up to you and the students, because that infers touch typing. Some students are ready for touch typing in third grade, and then you'll know that though, and maybe you offer it as an option. If they think this is too easy, I know all this, I never look at my hands, okay, cover your hands. Okay. Evidence board. This is the last piece that we'll go over here. It's you put a bulletin board on the wall, and students will, once a month or so, you'll ask students, what did you use outside of this class that required technology? And they'll tell you, I looked up an address on Google Maps. I helped my mom find something on Google Earth. I showed my sister how to put a border. And whatever they are, if you like them, then they'll fill out maybe a form, something like this. They can do it in their student workbook and then share it out with you, or it's easier, it's much easier for you, and I hate to say this, but to print these out, have lots of copies of them, stick them in, there's a little pocket here in the middle between these grades, and pull those out and give it to someone. Then they fill it out and you paste it on the wall, or you have them paste it on the wall. Up to you, however your class runs. But you don't want this to be an onerous job for you where you're filling things out. They're doing all the work, you decide how much you want to participate. But this reminds them that technology is woven into everything they do. Then hopefully by the end of the year, these badges circle the room. They start out like this, and then they go up the wall, and they go around the top of the wall, they go around the corner, and then they come back, and then they're back here at the beginning, because they're doing lots of stuff. So this is a really fun activity. They just love seeing how that grows. So did we already discuss Digital Citizen? If you have the curriculum, then that's where you'd have that. It's a separate curriculum. And then remind them there's a hardware quiz next week. They're third graders now. They start fast. So put a poll up on the class screen. How I use tech this summer. You can use Google Forms or Poll Daddy or whatever you want to use. They can answer as they're leaving class, or come back at lunch or recess or whenever they want, and just quickly answer that. You don't want it to be a big long line of kids trying to get out of class and they can't because they are trying to answer your polls. So that won't work. So then you say, come back at lunch, recess, after school, whatever it is. Give them the whole week if you need to. That's just so by the end of the week, by the next class, whenever that is, you're ready to discuss that poll with them, because it'll be very interesting. Here's ways to differentiate if you need to for different needs of different students. And then your articles are down here that you already know from red that there's an article, and from this logo, you know, there's articles. So open class internet start page, this is going to give you what is that and why do I want it, which is best, and all those. So let's go to the student workbook and see what's different. So I'm going to move quickly through this. I'm trying to keep these under 10 minutes. The first one is always a little longer. The introduction is always longer than this first lesson one is always a little longer. But after this, I'm going to try to keep them shorter for you. Okay, you can see this is what theirs look like. Lots of assessments for them. Hardware quiz, the one they're going to have lesson 2. So this they know right up front. This is what is scaffolded from prior years. This is going to be new skills for me. They know that in their student workbook. Now, if you don't have the student workbook, that's fine. If they do, though, this really makes them independent. This tells them what you want them to accomplish in the class. How, in this particular lesson, how do I use technology? If they can't answer that question when they leave the lesson, then something went wrong. They absolutely should, just based on this digital student. That is how they use technology, as well as a whole bunches more, but that is spot on how they use it. This is your assessment. Their to-do list, this is how you assess them. So they will know that you're assessing them based on the fact that they left their station neatly and orderly the way they found it, that they annotated their workbook properly, that they completed the exit ticket. They'll know you're assessing them based on that. Vocabulary they should expect to use. Okay, and I won't go through the same stuff we did. You can see here it's annotated, very nice. And a sample of their homework, which is in the back of their book. And here's the evidence board and sample of the form, that the badge they'll fill out, how to sit, and exit ticket, extensions if they get done early. They can volunteer to add the homework due date to the calendar. Now, they might not know what the calendar is yet, but they will next week because you deal with digital tools next week. And same with upcoming keyboarding and hardware quizzes. So the hardware quiz is next week. And there it is. Okay, that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help you with them. Maybe I'll see you Sunday at our office hours. Talk to you soon and have a great week. Bye.